Imagine walking into your bank and being told, you can earn an 18% annual interest rate, and you 1T have to pay a cent in taxes. It sounds like something from a late-night infomercial or a suspicious email. But believe it or not, in one country, this is actually possible and it's perfectly legal. Let's step back. Across the developed world, interest rates are frankly not very exciting. In the United States, you're lucky to get 4% on a top-tier savings account right now. In much of Europe, interest rates are even lower. And while high-yield bonds can top out at 6 to 8%, those often come with substantial risk and always get taxed. So where is this elusive 18% tax-free yield coming from? The answer? Uruguay. Before you scoff, let's look at the details. Uruguay is a small South American country nestled between Brazil and Argentina, while its neighbors have sometimes made headlines for economic instability. Uruguay has spent the last 2 decades earning a reputation as one of the most stable, transparent, and investor-friendly countries in the region. It's a democracy, has strong legal protections, and even boasts a thriving expat community. Now, back to that 18% yield. Here's how it works. In Uruguay, the government periodically issues bonds denominated in the local currency, the Uruguayan peso. But here's the twist. To attract foreign investment, they offer these bonds with eye-popping yields that can reach or even exceed 18% annually. Even more interesting for non-residents, Uruguay does not tax foreign investors on the interest earned from these bonds. That's right, 0 taxes on the coupon payments, and no capital gains taxes for non-resident investors. But how can Uruguay afford to offer such generous rates? It's a mix of high base interest rates and the country's desire to attract stable foreign investment. Uruguay's inflation has historically been on the higher side. Recent years have averaged around 7 to 9%. That means much of the high yield compensates investors for the risk that the peso might decline in value. Still, that spread between inflation and nominal yield can mean a real yield far above what is available in developed economies. Let's be clear. High yields reflect high risks. Investing directly in Uruguayan government bonds means betting that the currency 1T collapse or that the government will stay solvent. But if you do your homework and understand the risks, you could end up with a real return that dwarfs what's available elsewhere. How does the process actually work? Suppose you're an investor from the US, the UK, or just about anywhere. You can open a brokerage account with a firm that offers access to Uruguayan financial markets or use international platforms that specialize in emerging markets debt. You purchase Uruguayan peso-denominated bonds, park your cash, and collect semi-annual interest payments. When tax time rolls around, your home country may tax your global income, but Uruguay won't touch a dime. For institutional investors or high-net-worth individuals, there's another angle: international tax treaties. Some investors structure their holdings through tax-friendly jurisdictions or in partnership with Uruguayan banks, allowing them to sidestep additional taxes at home depending on their own country's rules and agreements. Now, let's play out a basic example. Invest $50,000 into a 5-year Uruguayan government bond at an 18% yield. Over 5 years, assuming no currency depreciation and reinvesting the interest, your total return could more than double your money. Of course, if the peso loses value against the dollar or euro, your gains might be much less when you convert back. That's where risk management comes in. Serious investors sometimes hedge their currency exposure, or use a laddered approach, spreading their bets across multiple maturities or currencies to dampen volatility. Why would Uruguay structure things this way? They want to encourage long-term foreign currency inflows. These inflows help the government fund infrastructure, promote economic development, and maintain currency stability. By making the bonds especially appealing to non-resident investors' high yields, no local taxes, Uruguay increases demand for its currency and builds a reputation as a country open for global business. Are there other places offering high rates tax-free? A few. Georgia, Egypt, and Nigeria have offered high local yields. But not all exempt foreign investors from taxes, and many come with more political or economic uncertainty than Uruguay. Among emerging markets, Uruguay stands out for its legal protections and ease of doing business. Of course, no investment is without risk. Uruguay is stable right now, but like all emerging markets, things can change. Investors should carefully research the market, consider currency fluctuations, and never invest more than they can afford to lose. But for those willing to step beyond their borders, the prospect of earning 18% interest, completely tax-free in a stable, investor-friendly country, it's a reminder that opportunity can come from the most unexpected place, so if you know where to look.